Cuba, it's me, and welcome to episode 224 of The Willu Show, which stands for Wrestling is Life. Life is Wrestling. Today's episode is entitled Call an Audible. A lot of times when you're performing in wrestling, it's live. You only have one take, and things don't always go as planned. And sometimes you have to use a little improvisation. Sometimes you have in your mind what's going to happen and the story that's going to be told. But sometimes you have to just take what you're given and make the best of it. You know what they say? Like, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. You know all those stupid sayings. But anyway, so in wrestling, a lot of times things go wrong. And sometimes it's notable. Sometimes they make botchamania. Sometimes you get a "you effed up" chant. But sometimes things happen that aren't supposed to happen that end up being better for the match, for the story, whatever the case may be. And I think, in my opinion, last night was a true case of that. So, for anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, there is a video making rounds on Facebook about this. There was a table that wouldn't break. Now, I was in a six-man pure violence championship match against Jeff Black, Joey Allen, Ricky James, Lenny Lilac, myself, and Super Kamikaze. And so what happened was, fairly early into the match, I found myself. It wasn't even Jeff Black. It was a Halloween show. So some of the wrestlers decided to dress up as tributes to some wrestlers, and Jeff Black happened to be Cactus Black. Well, being that he was trying to be Cactus Black or Cactus Jack, I found myself lying on a table. And the next thing I know, he's jumping off the apron, doing the patented Cactus Jack elbow through the table on me. The only problem was, it wasn't through the table. The table didn't break, and man, did that ever hurt. So, Ricky James said, "Oh, I'll show you how it's done," and he jumped on me onto the table. And not only did it not break, the table flipped, and we were lucky it didn't hit any crowd members. And so it ended up being the highlight of the match, in my opinion. There was 7 or 8 attempts at breaking the table, and none of them got the legs eventually broke on the table. But the whole point of the video, what I'm trying to say is, sometimes things happen that aren't supposed to happen. If it would have just broke the first time, well, the table would have broke, fans would have liked it, and then we would have just carried on and done with what we had left. But the fact that the fans got to see 7 more attempts at the table breaking, and they enjoyed every one, it ended up being the coolest thing. The table was definitely the MVP of the match. And so that's just what I'm saying. So, as a fan, have you ever witnessed something go wrong that actually turned out to be better? Or if you're a wrestler or referee or manager, promoter, or anything like that, has that ever happened to you where you've been in a match and something wasn't supposed to happen, but it ended up being the best thing? There's been a lot of times, I know for me, one time I was wrestling Quincy Valentino, and his finisher was a superplex, and this probably wasn't better for the match, but it was better for me personally. What was to happen was, he was going to beat me up and go for the superplex, but then he was in a feud with Fellatio, and Fellatio's music was going to hit, and he was going to get distracted where I could reverse it and roll him up. Well, Fellatio's music never hit. So Quincy, being a true professional, not having an ego, he was mad though, said, "Okay, you're going to have to take the superplex, and you're going to have to kick out." So it worked great for me because I took one of the best wrestlers around's finisher and I kicked out of it, and then everything went according to plan. So, that wasn't one maybe where it was best for the match, but it was definitely best for me personally. But I want to hear any stories you guys have. So, as always, on The Willu Show, or you get a leg drop, comment, or you get a clothesline, subscribe, or you get a suplex. I'm your host, Elian Habanero. I love wrestling, Cuba!